Welcome to the Bridging the Divide podcast. Each week, we'll explore the key factors that have contributed to today's economic divide, hear from experts and changemakers, and offer practical insights for aspiring entrepreneurs who are ready to break down barriers and inspire others. Join me as we navigate the challenges and opportunities for closing the economic gap, one conversation at a time. Welcome back to Bridging the Divide. I'm your host, Rolando. First off, thank you. Since launching the first 3 episodes, I have been humbled by the messages, shares, and thoughtful feedback. Truly, it means the world to me. One listener asked a powerful question. If your podcast is about bridging the economic divide, when are you going to talk about the bigger systemic issues? Great question and a valid one. Here's my answer. The number one reason an economic divide even exists is a lack of access to knowledge. Yes, information is everywhere. But if you're not already familiar with these systems, starting a business, managing finances, building your network, it's overwhelming. You don't even know where to begin. That's where this podcast comes in. My goal is to break things down in a step-by-step framework. Nothing fancy, no buzzwords, just real, usable information. I want to give you the tools and confidence to move from idea to action. Because here's the truth. If you're not even on the field, you can't blame the referee. Access to capital, networks, or mentorship, those challenges come after you start, not before. And once you do start, that's when the right advisors and tools really matter. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that you need to know everything before launching something. You don't. What you do need to know is your product and your vision better than anyone else. When I started my company, no one told me I needed a tax lawyer or an accountant. I didn't realize how critical tax strategy would be until I opened a letter from the IRS and nearly passed out from the number printed on that bill. It was a wake-up call. I needed help, and I needed it fast. I worked with a tax attorney and an accountant, and we got to work. Today, taxes aren't scary. They're just another line in the budget. Predictable, planned, handled. Same story when I incorporated my business. At the time, I didn't have the money to hire a corporate lawyer, so I used LegalZoom. I even called their legal hotline. It wasn't perfect, but it got me in the game. Eventually, as the business grew, I moved beyond DIY solutions like LegalZoom and QuickBooks. I began working with seasoned professionals. That shift made a huge difference, not just in how I ran the company, but in how I thought about the company. Eventually, as the business grew, I moved away from DIY solutions like LegalZoom and QuickBooks. I began working with seasoned professionals. That shift made a huge difference, not just in how I ran the company, but in how I thought about the company. So if you take nothing else away from today's episode, let it be this. You don't need to have all the answers, but you do need to build a support team, legal, financial, strategic, people you trust, people who know what they're doing. Because if you don't, you risk putting your business and your sanity on the line. And the more time you spend trying to solve problems outside your expertise, the less time you have to do what you actually do best. Bridging the economic divide starts with helping each other get in the game and stay in it. That's what this podcast is about. And that's what I'll keep showing up for every week. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, share this with a friend, and most importantly, stay in the fight. Until next time, I'm Rolando, and this is Bridging the Divide. Thanks for listening to the Bridging the Divide podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review, share with a friend, and give us a follow on all of our platforms. Special thanks to you for taking the time to listen today.